Greetings and good morning from San Antonio, Texas. Today we are exploring one of the most famous attractions in all of San Antonio, the San Antonio Zoo. It's been quite a while since I last did a video on a zoo, so it's high time that I get back to it with a visit to the San Antonio Zoo. I'm certainly excited about visiting a zoo because I've heard so many great things about this. The entrance is just up this ramp here, and believe me, the entrance here is absolutely gorgeous, decorated with animals all around. Decorations here provide a great way to greet people to what I hear is an amazing zoo. Lining up, we can soon scan our ticket and enter the zoo. We have booked our tickets in advance before visiting, however I'm not sure if you can do it at the zoo, however comment me down below if you know. Before entering the park, we grabbed a map right at the entrance to make sure that we knew where we were going around the zoo. Whenever visiting any attraction, I highly recommend picking up a map at the entrance before entering. The first place I decided to make my way towards was the rhino, stopping at any exhibit in between. Now fully prepared with a map and ticket been scanned, we can soon begin exploring the San Antonio Zoo. First to see here is the statue of some kind of big cat, perhaps either a lion or a cougar. Because there was no color to the statue, I could not tell which was which, but comment me down below if you know. As well as several types of animals, there are also several types of rides that you can take at the front of the park, such as a carousel and even a train ride. Several types of zoos have train rides to allow you to see places that are inaccessible on foot. And I didn't cover this in my very first video on this channel, but the Austin Zoo has a train ride too. Housed in this exhibit, according to these two signs here, are the white-cheeked gibbon and the Asian small-clawed otter. I don't know anything about the white-cheeked gibbon, but what I do know about the Asian small-clawed otter is that they are the smallest otters in the world and come from Asia, hence their name Asian small-clawed otter, and they actually have been known to take on crocodiles, if you can believe that. Otters may not be the biggest, but they sure are some of the toughest, seeing as they are members of the weasel family, which are known for being quite tough, even against things many times their size. Looking inside the enclosure, I was unable to get any view of either creature. I assumed that they were hanging out in the shade, as it was a rather hot day, so it wouldn't surprise me that they probably wouldn't be out in this heat. With no luck with the small-clawed otters and white-cheeked gibbons, I continued on towards the next exhibit. A couple exhibits down are the scarlet macaw parrots. Scarlet macaws are a type of parrot that are found in South America in the Amazon rainforest, and as you can see, they are very colorful, coming in a variety of different colors. Some of them in captivity have learned to speak actual words, because one thing I hear that parrots like to do is they like to copy the words and the sounds that they hear around them. I look forward to perhaps going to the South American jungles and seeing these birds in the wild, but we'll have to wait and see, and that's a journey for a future video. Continuing on, we soon reach the exhibit for the fishing cat. The fishing cat is a type of wild cat from the island of Sri Lanka just off the coast of India, and is one of the few types of cats that will actually dive into water and catch fish. Now usually when most people think of cats, they think of them as creatures that fear water. However, creatures like tigers, jaguars, and of course fishing cats here don't fear water. I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't manage to see the fishing cats in their enclosure. There are quite a lot of creatures that didn't seem to be out, which didn't surprise me as it was a rather hot summer day today. Continuing on, we soon reach an exhibit featuring a cat that I had never heard of, a ring-tailed cat. Unfortunately, that creature was also off exhibit, probably down to the fact that it was so hot today. Having failed to spot two of the smaller cats, I decided to head over to the exhibit to check out a much bigger cat, the jaguar. At first, I was unable to spot the jaguar, probably because of the heat of the day. Anyways, I hope you get my joke. I soon headed over to the other side of the exhibit in an attempt to find the jaguar. However, I didn't see it on this side either. One thing to note about jaguars is that you can easily walk by them without even knowing it because they are very secretive wild cats. If you've seen my video about Africa or the Galapagos Islands, you'll find that it was relatively easy to find animals there. Jaguars are nearly impossible to find, which is why if you're going there, it's unlikely you will see one unless you are really lucky. From the pond, a huge school of fish was staring up at me, probably because they were assuming that I had food for them. Sometimes I hear that in zoos people will sometimes feed fish. Just as I was heading out, I soon noticed this panthera walkway from one exhibit to this one here, and I wondered if the jaguar could be hanging out in here. Unfortunately, just as I was looking in, the jaguar was once again nowhere to be seen. Suddenly though, I looked up on the walkway and soon saw the jaguar taking a nap in the afternoon sun. As you probably know, jaguars come from the Amazon rainforest and are the top predators there, or one of the top predators at least. They are the third largest big cats in the world, behind only the tiger being the largest and the lion being the second largest, weighing up to 220 pounds. Now, it seems very easy to confuse a jaguar for a leopard, and I kid you not, I used to confuse them for leopards quite a bit when I visited zoos. The key difference is that jaguars have much bigger rosettes than leopards do, and they are also bigger. As stated before, jaguars weigh 220 pounds, leopards only weigh 175 pounds. Also, as stated before, jaguars come from South America, while leopards come from Africa and Asia. After checking out the jaguars, I soon made my way towards Africa Life. This is the path where you'll find your giraffes, rhinos, zebra, hippos, and basically all the African megafauna. The first creature to see at Africa Life is the hippopotamus, as indicated by these two metal hippo statues right here at the entrance. Entering the permanently open doors, we soon enter the hippo exhibit. From down here, we can get a great view of the hippos when they are in the water. However, they were out of the water being fed currently. Now those are some huge creatures. Hippos are the 5th largest land animals in the world, behind elephants and 3 out of the 5 species of rhinos. Males can weigh up to 4,400 pounds, with the females weighing around 3,000 pounds. Either way, that is huge. You probably know you should never mess with a hippo because they are some of the most territorial creatures in the world, and because of that, they kill up to 2,000 people every year in Africa. I have footage of wild hippos from my expedition in Africa that went live several months ago, so check that out if you haven't. One hippo began making its way into the water, which meant that we were about to get a view of a hippo from under the water. Now look at that. Hippos spend most of the daylight in the water because their skin is quite sensitive to the sun, and if they stay out for too long, they can easily get sunburned. Because of this, hippos only head out onto the plains at night to graze when it's cool out. Some fish soon began cleaning the hippo's tusks. I've heard of fish doing this, I don't know what kind of fish that was, or at least I don't remember it. The next exhibit down was the Nile crocodile, which is the 2nd largest crocodile in the entire world, behind only the enormous saltwater crocodile. Unfortunately, I failed to spot the croc from this angle. Next exhibit down housed the western gaboon viper and the veiled chameleon. I don't know a whole lot about vipers, but comment me down below if you know more about them. I soon spotted the chameleon resting on a branch. Chameleons are expert insect hunters. They have eyes that rotate, which means that they can look in any direction they want, and they also have an extremely long tongue that they can use to grab their prey with and bring it to their mouth and chomp it down. As you may be able to see, this chameleon is currently in the process of shedding its skin. Several types of lizards and snakes will shed their skin as they grow older and outgrow their old layers of skin and get new layers under it. Before moving on, I soon headed to another angle of the crocodile exhibit to try and spot the Nile crocodile, only to completely fail to spot it again. While I didn't see the actual crocodile, I did see this interesting pun here on the sign saying that they're surprisingly excellent parents. And that actually is true, seeing as they lay eggs and are great parents. Continuing on, we soon pass a sign saying that this way to okapis, rhinos, and giraffes, and since those are the creatures I was going to see, I followed it. Making our way over to the rhinos and giraffes, we passed right by the okapi exhibit, 2 okapis hanging out and minding their own business inside the enclosure. Managed to get a couple brief shots with the okapi's tongue in action. Much like a giraffe, an okapi has to use its tongue to reach into the high branches in order to eat. The entrance to the rhino exhibit is marked by a statue of 3 huge white rhinos stacked on top of each other, which is a great way to greet people to the rhinos. Arriving at the rhino exhibit, I soon spot a southern white rhino resting in the shade just in the corner. The San Antonio Zoo is currently home to 2 southern white rhinos. I have heard of them supporting black rhinos in the past, however they clearly don't support them in the modern day. Rhinos will usually spend most of the heat of the day out on the African plains hanging out in the shade to cool off. Sometimes they'll even go into mud puddles as a way to keep cool from the hot African sun. After a little bit, I soon spot another white rhino also hanging out in the shade. As you probably know, white rhinos are the largest of all species of rhino, weighing up to 9,000 pounds, and are also the only species of rhino that are not endangered. The other 4 species of rhino, black, greater one-horn, Javan, and Sumatran rhinos, are all critically endangered, affected by either poaching or habitat loss, or in most cases, both. I know I said this in my video in Africa, but why on earth do people even think that rhino horn is medicine? Because it's really just keratin, the same substance as your fingernails and hair, so having a reason to think that it's medicine makes absolutely no sense. If these guys went extinct, I would be absolutely heartbroken, as these are practically my favorite terrestrial animals on planet Earth. Just imagine an entire world without rhinos. How tragic would that be? Just across from the rhino are the giraffes. However, they at first, like most of the other creatures at the San Antonio Zoo, were also inside taking refuge from the heat. Luckily, I at least managed to get a view if there's brown spots from the outside. I soon spotted several black vultures inside the enclosure, and way in the background, a couple of ostriches. I had seen most of the animals here on my expedition in Africa that went live several months ago, so if you want to know more about them, then check out that video. I soon made my way over to another part of the exhibit to see an animal I did not see in Africa, the marabou stork. Marabou storks are found in the swamplands of Africa in areas like the Okavango, where they hunt several types of fish such as catfish, among other things. Storks are members of the Aridae family, I think that's how you pronounce it, that also include creatures like herons. From what I can tell, all Aridae members are creatures that will usually stalk fish through the water standing upright and then lunge forward and grab it. If you know more about this family, then comment me down below. Fortunately, the giraffes soon came out, which means that I could get some up-close shots of them from the outside. As you can see, giraffes are the tallest creatures in the world, with their necks long enough to reach high up into trees so that they can browse right off of them without having to push them over. Giraffes were soon joined outside by a small herd of zebra. I'm not going to explain a whole lot more about these creatures, as I've already explained plenty of information I think during my Africa video, so if you want to know more, again, I've said it before, just check it out. Cool sound that the zebras make, eh? Before heading out, we can get one final look at the 2 southern white rhinos here. After spending some time enjoying looking at the rhinos, it's soon time to move on to the next exhibit. On my way back, we passed by the Nile crocodile exhibit yet again, and this time, though it was underwater, I actually managed to spot the crocodile submerged from the sun. While this one may not possibly be at its maximum size, this is still a big crocodile. Nile crocodiles will hunt all sorts of things such as large creatures like wildebeest, zebra, antelope, and lots of other creatures, and even smaller Nile crocodiles. It's called cannibalism, when creatures will sometimes eat their own kind that are smaller than them, and crocodiles are among those animals. Continuing on to the park, I soon figured that I'd go check out the lions and tigers. First to see is the Sumatran tiger. Sumatran tigers are the smallest species of tiger and are found in the jungles of Sumatra and Indonesia, hence their name Sumatran tiger. Like all tigers, Sumatran tigers are covered with stripes. Just like your fingerprints, each tiger's stripe pattern is slightly different from one another, although it may be a bit hard to tell. While tigers may seem dangerous, people really should take into account that we are far more of a harm to tigers than they are to us. From what I've heard, there are less than 400 Sumatran tigers left in the wild, and if something's not done fast to save them, they could be extinct in the wild in just years. It may be a little bit shocking that there are actually more tigers in captivity than there are in the wild, with 5,000 captive tigers in the United States alone, but only 3,900 in the wild. Even more surprisingly, only 300 of those tigers are in zoos, with the rest either being kept in circuses or even as pets, which really is not great places to keep tigers because it's really not good for them. I hope people who are keeping those tigers as pets take note sooner or later. After the Sumatran tiger, we soon find the lion exhibit, a male lion hanging out upside down in the background. I'd always love to get a good look at a male lion with its iconic mane. If you want to know more about them, then again check out my video in Africa. On my way back, we passed the tiger exhibit, and I soon saw the tiger with its head now up, and so I snagged in a very quick shot as I was passing by. Before heading out, it's time to explore one final exhibit, and that is the largest lizard in the world, the Komodo dragon. We soon arrive at the exhibit with the lizard hanging out right by the water inside its enclosure. As briefly stated before, Komodo dragons are the largest lizards in the world. They are a type of monitor lizard that is highly venomous, with a highly venomous bite that will gradually kill over the course of several weeks once they bite prey. I would like to see these lizards and document them in the wild. Or would I? Honestly, these guys definitely look like a survivor from the age of the dinosaurs because they basically have that sort of dinosaur appeal. At least they look very prehistoric. These lizards may be dangerous, but they definitely are cool creatures. With them being the largest lizards in the world, they're definitely quite a sight. Having seen what I think is enough animals in the park, we can head over to the exit where our today's video will end. If you enjoyed today's video, I suggest clicking a like and hitting that subscribe button down below. It really helps support the channel and the content that I produce. There are several new expeditions coming up in the future, so stick around so you don't miss them. Anyways, that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed the visit, and I will see you all next time. Take care.